We then had a great opportunity to visit the Warkhawk Air Museum in Nampa, Idaho, and I got to sit down and talk to Brigadier General Wilma Vaught, and she really paved the way for so many women in uniform to break the glass ceiling between her own experiences and her wartime experiences. It's a great interview.
I look forward to it.
Welcome to Our Voice. I'm Rebecca Evans, and we are here in Nampa, Idaho at the Warkhawk Museum. I'm so excited because we have a chance to sit down with a military veteran, a women veteran, Brigadier General Wilma Vaught. And thank you so much for being here, visiting Idaho. This is the year of the military women. You joined the military in the 50s, is that correct?
1957.
1950. That was not a popular move for a woman to make.
No, it wasn't. It was just after the Korean War, and what they found during the Korean War, they tried to get women to go in. They just weren't interested after World War II.
Brigadier General Wilma Vaught found herself with a college degree, but had no place to use her education. She wanted to be in a leadership role, and the military offered her that opportunity. What prompted you to join the military? Unpopular time for women?
I had graduated from college, and at that time, when I graduated from college in 1952, there just wasn't really an opportunity in corporate America. They were male-dominated.
Right.
They wouldn't even interview me for an intern position. I could interview for a job as a secretary or a stenographer, and really my choices were, I should have majored in nursing, or I should have...
What did you major in college?
In business.
In business. Unheard of for women in
That's
the 50s.
right, there weren't very many of us in business even.
Right, right.
And the second area would have been as a teacher, and I had done practice teaching, and I wasn't interested at all in doing that, or working as a secretary or a stenographer, and I didn't want to do that, or get married. I wasn't interested in any of those things. What I wanted to do was manage and supervise. I wanted to be in charge of something. I wanted to be a leader.
That start of your story paved the way for so many women in corporate America, just going in and getting a degree in that field, but also in the military. And I can't imagine when you first started in the military, how were you received? I mean, by men, by women?
Well, they were beginning to decide that they should have women, so they were encouraging the men to welcome women. But we were in a tremendous minority. We were 7/10 of the number of people in the service. 7/10, that's hardly anybody.
Wow.
I went overseas to Spain, and there was a hospital there, and there were nurses. I was the only officer, and there's one enlisted woman who had come with her husband. We were the only two people, non-nurses.
That were not nurses. That's what, again, the traditional roles were still being played even in the military by women. So paving the way into something non-traditional. Now, we have female military members who are mechanics, and pilots. But that wasn't heard of back then, let alone any other field. So
it was totally unheard of.
You opened up that door. And General Wilma Vaught had the opportunity to participate in wartime activity, one of the first women to be able to do so, and she paved the way for so many to follow. So in the 1960s, you were working directly for the wing commander.
I was.
As a female.
I did incredible things when I think back. In fact, I can't understand hardly how the commander ever trusted me with some of the things that he did. When the bomb wing was selected to be the second bomb wing to go to Guam, in support of the B-52 bombing of Vietnam, and my commander said, "Wilma, why don't you go to Guam with us?" And there'd never been a woman who had ever deployed with the Strategic Air Command bomb wing on a deployment like that.
Do you feel as a woman in that time frame and in that culture, you had to work harder, kind of prove yourself more?
I just had to work hard.
Right.
I was involved in things that I'd never done before, and I had to learn. It was just incredible. Well, the greatest challenge, without question, was trying to get the Women's Memorial built, because I never intended, it never was in my plan for life to ever build a memorial. This was not my vision. It was somebody else's idea. I was the implementer. But I came to believe that it was something that we really needed, particularly for the World War II women.
Yes.
And the Korean War women.
Now the memorial's up. How many women right now are registered with the memorial?
We have 267,000 women registered, but still 261,000 out of the 3 million who served. That's a long way from being there. And that's why we're working so hard to get the story out to women. Maybe that family member is no longer alive who served in the military, but she can be registered, and we can remember her, and we can pay tribute to her service to the country.
And capture her story. Because you
and
can
capture the story.
You can go there and look up members, right, and see their pictures,
That's right.
see their story. And I think that's so critical. So people can call 1-800-I-SALUTE, right?
That's right.
And get a hold of the memorial and find out more information and how to register. So definitely, if you know a female veteran on any level, female military member, call that number, 1-800-I-SALUTE, because I think that, that's what we're passionate about here on this show. Our voice is capturing stories that matter.
Yeah.
And the women military member, has gone under the radar. We have had so many women part of the military for so long, and their stories haven't really been out there. Now, do you have...
Well, and it's all a part of telling the story of their service, which had never been told.
Right. The experience in the military, you are stretched and challenged into dimensions that really make you a better person. You're put in situations, but you form a bond like no other. I think when I left the military, that was one of the things I missed, was that automatic patriotism and camaraderie that you share in that organization. Can you tell me a little bit about that, being retired now, for you?
I don't think you can ever really understand what the word bond means in the military until you've been in the military.
Yeah.
Because it exists when you're in, and it exists for the rest of your life. You feel something when you meet somebody else that served in the military, and you reach out that hand, or you hug each other, and it's just a feeling, you shared in something. You may have been in different countries, you may have been in different services, but you shared a military experience. But I can tell you, of the many hundreds of registrations I've read in the comments, that one of the themes that comes through over and over is they talk about how many friends they've made. And here they are, 70, 80, 90 years old, and they are still in contact with some of those people that were their friends when they were in the military.
And I really wanted to know what advice General Vaught could offer women today. You're going to want to hear this. First of all, you have paved the way for so many women, and you probably have some really amazing advice that you can offer young women in today's culture, today's society, today's challenges. When you were speaking earlier, you said, we're not through with the battle of racism. We're not through with overcoming, some of our hurdles and barriers that we have in our society. What advice would you give upcoming women? Words of wisdom.
I would say that they have a great opportunity. The technology breakthroughs that have come from the military are so great, and you have an opportunity to be a part of that. And I think one of the big things that we overlook so often is that you're a part of history. That what the military does is a part of the country's history. And you can play a role in that. And you never know when you're somewhere where you become somebody that's not just somebody standing there, you are a key player. One of the things we could do for our young people, if we could afford to have them spend 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years in the military, that might reduce some of the problems we now have with respect to young people. You don't go into it with the attitude of, I can't possibly do that.
Because somebody's going to get hurt.
That's right.
Somebody could lose their life. You can't take that risk. And you problem solve. You problem solve at the lowest level, and you find a way to get it done.
That's right.
What
right.
is one of the things you're most proud of?
Well, besides the memorial, I was proud of the progress we made when I was the commander of the Military Entrance Processing Command in upgrading facilities, in making some improvements in the way we dealt with people who were enlisting in the military and being shipped off to training, in making some improvements there, and in encouraging people to further their education so that they could be better military members or better members of our country and achieve things they might otherwise not have had an opportunity to have achieved. All of those things.
Yeah, I'm sure the ripple effect you have had on the number of lives that you've touched and encouraged could fill a memorial as well. I'm just so honored to have this opportunity to sit down with you and share a glimpse of your life.
Well, you know, today, a man came up to me, and he came up and spoke to me because at one time he was in the command I had during the time I had it.
Wow.
And he remembered me. That was 30-some years ago.
Right.
And that gives you a feeling that somehow you did something that did something for him. And he is saying thanks in his way.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm sure there's a lot of people, if I interviewed, they'd have a lot of great things to say. And that type of ripple effect, not just through you verbally affirming them and encouraging them, but I think also you as an example to them of what could be done, what you can do, what you can become. And especially for young women, I think
That's right.
You inspired a lot of lives along the way.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for serving your country and making a difference and paving the way for so many women. I'm going to get on the register because I haven't done that myself, but I am going to get that word out too. I'm going to be part of that, yeah.
And we would certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.